Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now November 15th of 2021, and ever since the very end of The Mandalorian Season 2 and The Bad Batch, a lot of Star Wars fans have really been looking forward to what both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni really have in store for the new Star Wars universe, and exactly what's happening with the new Star Wars movies, the new Star Wars TV shows that are all about to be announced at Star Wars Celebration by Bob Chapek. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter at Mike01 if you guys want to go ahead and give me a follow on there. I do post a couple of fun and entertaining things on there from time to time and interact with you guys further. So we're now in a very interesting part of Star Wars because we're only getting close to the official release of the Book of Boba Fett on December 29th, followed by, of course, the Kenobi series, and then we have Bad Batch Season 2 coming out. A lot of things are happening, and a lot of things are coming our way for 2022 and beyond. Now, we already know that Jon Favreau is a very busy man. With Dave Filoni, he's very hard at work on multiple projects, over a dozen to be exact, and that really just goes to show you that they're really dedicating their lives to exactly what's being done with the franchise and exactly what's being done with the Star Wars lore, by bringing back Star Wars legends and mixing it in with the new, and exactly how that's really going to transfer to the overall structure of this new expanded universe. Now, with that being said, what's really all the more exciting has everything to do with what's been happening by, of course, Lucasfilm and Disney, and what's really happening with the new Star Wars movies and TV shows that are about to be announced. We're going to learn more about that official roadmap at Star Wars Celebration of 2022, so keep your eyes open for that. However, what's really intriguing has everything to do with what's going on with Jon Favreau behind the scenes. We already know that Favreau is working on a lot of projects, but there is one in particular that a lot of fans have been raising their arms over, and that, of course, we're going to be getting into right now. So, given that both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are focused on their new Star Wars universe, it's described that Disney CEO Bob Chapek is getting prepared to announce a roster of new Star Wars films and TV shows during Star Wars Celebration of 2022. Now, this is something that Chapek is considering his most important event since Disney bought Lucasfilm, and that it is going to be something truly special. However, behind the scenes, it's actually described that creator Jon Favreau is said to be leaving and quitting from a Star Wars project that has been giving issues for the past number of months. For the longest time now, Jon Favreau has been involved with one controversial Star Wars TV show, that being, of course, the Acolyte series by Kathleen and leslye Headland. Favreau was not only supervising the project, but he was also involved creatively on a large level that had to do with the lore and what would be inserted into the show. Favreau was a part of this for some months after Disney began to realize that the project was not going anywhere and having tons of issues. One main reason why Favreau left the series as a creative is that Kathleen refused to even involve Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker in the form of a vision of the future, and even the godlike creatures called the Wills that were supposed to be big in the show that they agreed upon. This is something that both Favreau and Kennedy had agreed on to be used in the series until she called it off. Favreau also just recently decided to step down from the project, given that working close with Kathleen only led to constant creative differences. This is the same exact thing that recently happened with, of course, Patty Jenkins of Rogue Squadron for, of course, 2023. Now, the show was going downhill for months, and Favreau stepped in to provide support in an attempt to save the show from being a complete disaster. With Favreau now gone, Bob Chapek is deeply worried about the show's future and whether or not they will begin to film on time in 2022. Leslye Headland, who is the writer of the series, also did not want or was not thrilled about Favreau joining in as a creative to take care of the series on different levels. Favreau was aware of course, which led to complications behind the scenes on figuring out the lore of what should be used in the new Star Wars series. Favreau is now focusing on his other projects alone in order to make sure that they can become a success and steer Star Wars in the right direction for the fandom to enjoy. Now, Favreau is making it clear to Kathleen and leslye Headland that, of course, they cannot work with those and that they hold a history of creative differences, as it only makes the job harder and more problematic to get things done on time properly. Given that now Favreau has more time for other projects, this will only mean good news for the series like Mandalorian, and even the Ahsoka series, and even the reformed version of Rangers of the New Republic, which is going to feature many new battles, such as the Battle of Jakku and others that we have yet to have seen in the Star Wars canon. So here's the thing about this, alright? Now, one thing that I think a lot of fans absolutely need to know that's very important is the fact that Jon Favreau, alright, you guys may or may not have known, but he was creatively involved with the Acolyte series on a number of fronts. The lore, exactly how it was going to be handled in the overall roadmap of Star Wars, when it was going to be released, stuff like that, of how it would overall be handled. Now, he's actually gone from that series, and we already know why, and I think a lot of that had to do with what's been going on between Kathleen Kennedy and Patty Jenkins holding a lot of creative differences. Now, there's a lot of new information coming out the past number of days now of exactly how Lucasfilm operates. We're already learning more, specifically about Kathleen Kennedy, of how basically every creator that is attached to something that is fresh and new, that has nothing to do with familiar characters or faces, they always tend to run into major creative differences that leads to either the creator leaving or just quitting in general, or it kind of falling into limbo, the overall project, so to speak. You know, we saw this with David Benioff and D.B. Weiss of the new Star Wars trilogy back in the day. We saw this, of course, with other Star Wars solo films a couple of years ago. We've seen this a number of times with Kathleen Kennedy to no end. So, Jon Favreau leaving, he made the right call. I mean, what's not to like about Jon Favreau? I mean, this guy made the right call. He knew exactly what was going on with the Acolyte series. The production was a mess. It still seems to be out of order, as they were supposed to film by this December. Now they're not filming until spring of 2022. So it just goes to show you that they might not even get this thing on time for 2023 if this stays the course, let alone becoming an actual series. They might not even get it out there at all, period. I wouldn't be too surprised because not a lot of people are looking forward to this. Sure, on paper it might seem exciting to some fans, you know, how it's all about the dark side, it's about the rise of dark side powers and stuff around those lines. It's treated as a mystery thriller, a cat and mouse game, if you will. But at the end of the day, Leslye Headland and Kathleen Kennedy, they've said this many times before in the past, that they really do want to focus on things other than characters and the development of key characters. They really want to promote, essentially, identity politics and real-world issues being thrown into the show. Which, once you do stuff like that, that's when things begin to just fall apart very quickly. And I don't think it's going to really become a thing by 2023 at the very minimum. So, the other thing is this, is that Favreau now has a lot more time to work on the Mandalorian series as a whole, especially with, of course, you know, the Book of Boba Fett now coming out very soon. The mandoverse overall is looking very fresh and very successful. I cannot wait to see exactly what Favreau has to do with the reformed version of Rangers, of how that's going to get retitled, essentially, and becoming a new show of its own thing. So that's another thing to look forward to, because it's going to feature more events just after the Episode 6 Return of the Jedi movie. So that's exactly what they're trying to do. They're really trying to keep things in order, making sure that Favreau and Filoni can have their minds pretty much at ease, and in order to really focus on the proper shows, they need to have no drama or no toxicity in the working environment. That's exactly why he left the Acolyte. So overall, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to morning.